So welcome everyone to another episode of But Make It Books. I'm Nakara. I'm your bookish host in all things. And this is our podcast where we're bookishly healing through life. And I am so blessed to be in the space, in the place, with a person who is really becoming a trendsetter here in the world of Black fantasy. No, you are, because let's talk about it because we will get there. Annalisa Barrow, and I am so excited to be with you because I was looking around. Now I'm about to go into like my whole thing. I was looking around because I really got back into fantasy. And of course, I'm a kid of the 90s. So, of course, I was a Harry Potter kid, a Sailor
Okay.
Moon kid. I was all of those things. And then, obviously, the woman who shall not be named, who turned into the woman who shall not be named,
Oh, yeah.
became something that I did not love, obviously.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
miss being able to love it. I do. And now I just see it and I just get like I get the
ick.
ick.
We
Yeah.
get the big ick, the big ick. And so I was looking for more fantasy, and I was like, it cannot just be the same fantasy I see all the time. And the girls were posting Laura of the Wilds, and I was like, okay, cottage core, big hair. The cover is gorgeous. I saw two attractive male fae, and I was like,
Yes. They're so
they
hot.
in there.
All of them are so
So so I'm
hot.
really excited that I found you. So first, before we start, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling really good. Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
And I am wondering, actually, could you hear the dog barking? Good, because there's a dog barking outside my window. I think it's my neighbor.
Oh no, I can't hear
I'm
it at
glad.
all.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. But I'm feeling
So
really good.
good. So before we start, a little icebreaker. What is your go-to cozy hobby or drink or both?
Oh, okay. So I'm really, if you look at my Instagram, well, actually, I hope it's still on there. I actually don't remember, but I have it. It says cozy on purpose because I really try to romanticize my life in almost everything that I do.
We love
So I would
that.
say my favorite thing in the world is to set up like an elaborate and amazing bath for myself. The whole like the bath salts, I've got my candles, I've got my little thing that goes across that can hold like
Yeah.
either my wine or my coffee or my tea, depending on what time of day it is. And I've got my book, and I'll be in that bath for like an hour, and it'll be so
Oh,
nice. And
I
yes, I
love
don't know if that's a hobby, but it's my hobby.
No, it's a hobby. Like that sounds really good because I also have a tray of like the
Yes,
little thing you put across. I like got the pillow. I made my entire bathroom like a spa, like our second bathroom, like my spa bathroom.
we need
So
that. We
because
need
yeah, we
that.
need that.
And
We
I'm a
need that.
Taurus, so like it's really
That's
fitting for me.
very Venus energy of you.
Yes.
My fiance is a Taurus as well, and he
I
does
love
love the
that.
beauty of things.
I love that.
You guys definitely do. Your Venus rules you.
Yeah, we're all about being comfortable and cozy. So,
Yeah, that's his life. Yeah, he doesn't like untidiness. He likes to be tidy.
I wish
Yeah,
I was a little more tidy. I'm actually kind of a gremlin, but that's fine.
it's okay. I am too. It's okay. I like being a gremlin. So before we get started, let's get into did I okay, no, I went to the right place. To your bio. So you are a Sunday Times best-selling author, period, of Lore of the Wilds, known for weaving lyrical prose with thrilling plot twists and captivating main characters. Your novels explore complex themes of betrayal, justice, and nuance of love. Through your storytelling, you primarily aim to invoke a full range of emotion while empowering historically marginalized readers, ensuring they feel seen and represented in rich, unforgettable narratives. You currently reside in beautiful, sunny California with your family and your pets. Which
Yes.
was that the dog I heard?
No, it's my neighbor. I don't have a dog. I'm allergic.
Oh,
So sad. I know.
okay. So,
But
what are the pets? Like cats?
guinea pigs and a kitty cat.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
2 guinea pigs, yeah.
I'm
They're
trying to
actually
pick him
technically
today.
my daughters. She really wanted pets. One day she came to us and she wrote us a letter, and she said she was only 67% happy because our cat does not like her. And To be fair, my cat only likes me.
Okay.
She just, I'm her person, and she's kind of older now. But so my husband and I decided to get her guinea pigs, and she loves them very much, and they're very cute.
Oh, yeah, cats do. Depending on the cat, they like their
Yeah,
people.
my cat's a rescue, so she was a stray, so she like
Um,
is terrified always, all the time. And when we got her, our daughter was 6, so she was very much into like the tackling love bombing of this cat. Literally, she was the bomb. And so yeah, so she's 12 now, but like she's never forgotten.
she'll never forget.
I
She'll
know,
remember that. I
right?
had a cat growing up and it only liked me. Um, yeah, so yes, that cat really only loved me. My mom was very mad.
Yeah, I, I
So
I I would be too, honestly. I would be like, wait a minute.
no, because she was like, I bought this. But I was
Yes.
like, I well, what do you want me to say? I'm so sorry, mom. But listen, Blossom liked me only, and she was named after, yes, the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
I was a very much big Powerpuff
Yeah, I
girl.
was too. I love the Powerpuff Girls. We used to play them
Y-
at recess. Truly.
Yes, yes, and I was always Blossom. I had to be the leader.
Yes, of course. I
Of
love it.
course, of course. So, for our listeners who haven't encountered it yet, what would you say is Lore of the Wilds and Lore of the Tides duology about?
Okay, so that's a really fun question. Normally I get asked about Lord of the Wild, so I'm like, oh, what are they both about together, as one
Yes, because
unit?
it's a duology.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, I
right
couldn't
here.
tell the story in just one book, and then it wasn't, I just knew in my heart of hearts it wasn't a trilogy. So let's see, the duology. So it's about a human woman who, in this world, humans are subjugated by the Fae.
Hmm.
So the Fae inherently have magic. They're powerful, they're stronger, they're faster, all this. So humans, they appeared in the world about 400 years before the story takes place. They have
Hmm.
no idea how they got there, but they are the only human village in the entire world. And Lore is tired of being subjugated, of course, as anyone would be. And so when a dark fae lord comes to her and asks her to search an enchanted and cursed library, she agrees. He thinks she's doing it to earn coin or money for her community, but she's doing it because she's searching for power of her own.
Yes.
She ends up finding a grimoire and becoming the first ever witch.
Hmm.
And then chaos ensues for another book.
Yeah, that sounds right.
While she falls in love.
Well, yes, yes, she definitely falls in love. Why did you feel this story needed to be told, and what was the spark or need that compelled you to write it?
So I will say, growing up like a massive nerd, also a kid of the 90s, I've been obsessed with fantasy. Let's see, I read The Wizard of Oz when I was 8, and I read the original 3 books,
Hmm.
and I was obsessed. Like, I wanted to be Dorothy so
Oh.
bad. Like, I wanted to be Dorothy. I'm 8 years old. I'm like, I want to go to Oz. I want to do magic. Ever
Hmm.
since then, I've been reading fantasy voraciously. I can't get enough. I'm always trying to escape. And I had spent years searching for books where the characters looked like me, the main characters. In the fantasy genre, it just didn't exist. I grew up thinking that the stories weren't being written
Hmm.
because I had never been told and I hadn't learned that they were being written. They've always been written. They
Hmm.
just weren't being published.
Hmm.
And so I read, let's see, the first book I ever read, which was a fantasy novel with a black main character, I was 26 years
Wow.
old. And so I was like, but by then I was actually already writing my book. So I was at the point where I'm like, I'm writing this story.
Hmm.
I want to read it. I'm going to write it. So when I had this vision, this idea of this human woman who walks into this library, it hasn't been touched in 1,000 years. I don't know who she is. I don't know how she got there. I
Hmm.
don't know why nobody's been in that library but her. Um, But that was the spark or the idea that started it all. I had to know. I was like, okay, who is she? Where's this library? What's going on? And that's how Laura's story started.
I love that because I'm a sucker for a girl stuck in the library, which is probably why Bella is one of my favorite
Yeah,
Beauty and the Beast characters. Like, I want to go live in a library too.
I think that anyone who is probably listening to this podcast probably loves books, and they probably feel the same way where, like, I don't know about you, but like for me, libraries were one of my safe places. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love going to the
Same.
library, went to the library at lunch all the time. Um, I spent hours there just
Mm-hmm.
checking out books, reading. I would read entire books there. I
Mm-hmm.
love the library. This in and of itself is kind of a love letter to libraries. They're one of the last places you can go and not have to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in a capitalistic society, like that's so the fact that we still have that is so beautiful. Like we need to be getting our library cards, using our library for as many things as we can, and things like that. And so this book is part of my love. Like I love libraries.
Yeah, I don't know where. Like, I just think about my school librarians all the time, and the fact that most people don't even have that anymore.
Yeah.
Having school librarians, and I'm just like, wow. Like, I was in there all the time. Like,
Right?
they knew me. They knew
Yeah,
me.
same,
They're like, "Oh,
same.
Nicole, I got that book you wanted. It came in." I'm like,
Yes,
"Oh."
exactly. I wish that I knew
Mhm.
that I could have requested books, but I didn't.
Mhm.
Um, I'm like, it would have been a totally different experience for
I
me. I
found
would
that
have
out
every week.
later. Yeah. They
Yeah,
just
I
kept
found it out.
telling me because they saw me there and they're like, "Well, what do you want to read?" And I was just like, "Oh, well,
Oh,
I
that's
like
such a
this and
sweet
this and this."
librarian.
And they were like, "Oh, well, then let's order it. Let's request it." And so I was like, "Oh,
I love
okay."
that.
Yeah. I had some pretty good teachers growing up. So let's talk about lore because my girl. So she discovers and recognizes her own magic throughout the duology. How did you approach her magical awakening to make it feel earned rather than given? Because for folks who haven't read it, obviously, like it felt very much like she took a chance on herself and this was the gift.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to hear more
I
about that.
think one thing that I do is, and this is like a very minor spoiler, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna give too much away. But basically, she goes to the library, she's cataloging all the books, and she finds what she thinks is a journal.
Hmm.
So she takes the journal because it's a blank book, and she's pouring her desires and her thoughts and her life into it. She's like the only human in this castle. All the Fae hate humans, and
Maybe.
she and she's really just showing her true self to this grimoire that well, the
Hmm.
secretly it's a grimoire. So you find out that this book is actually the key to unlocking her magic, giving her magic. So it's really a give and take. So the grimoire ends up being like, look, let's make a deal, and she ends up making a deal.
Hmm.
I think that for her having to earn it, it's really not about her earning it. I think it's more about her deserving it.
Hmm.
The grimoire saw into her her heart's desire, her character, and it deemed
Yeah.
her worthy.
Mm. I really love that. The other part too, which I love about fantasy, is the you explore bigger topics in a fictional world. So
Right.
let's talk about you made a lot of references throughout the book about the environment. And I love that. About us being the stewards of this environment, especially in Lore of the Tides.
Right.
Because we see the Fae like overusing the resources. What can folks learn through the duology regarding courage and stewardship of the land? Because it did take courage for everyone to stand up for this.
Yeah, I think that I mean I'm hoping that when people read the book, one of the biggest themes is community.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the community comes together,
Mm-hmm.
when you're able to have that togetherness and that wonderful love and care for other people, then when you have that, like, you also have care for your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a bit where dark fae, like they salt the earth, which
Mhm.
makes it impossible for them to grow crops. I
Mhm.
mean, they purposefully poison the earth, and salt is expensive. Salt is a luxury. This is high
Yeah.
fantasy, and so for them to have taken this expensive luxury, this salt, which is something that you need, you have to be able to use it to, dry out your meat. Otherwise, you're going to
Mhm.
starve in the winter, like things like that.
Right.
Um, Preserve your berries, things like things like that. It's like there's stuff that it's just the fact that they would take something so precious and use it for such a disgusting and evil
Mhm.
thing. And I think that for me, it's an allegory for like this is what happens when a nation bombs a
Mhm.
a place. They're dropping literal bombs onto
Mhm.
buildings and places, and the pollution alone, let
Mhm.
alone the loss of life and the loss of livelihoods and the loss of schools and hospitals and all this stuff. It's for me, it was just it's an allegory for that,
Mhm.
and and Lore, being human, being part of the subjugated race, nobody feels that harm to the environment,
Mhm.
more than her and her community.
Mm.
And they always try to just do the best they can, I think, with what they're given.
Mhm. They definitely
um
do.
yeah,
They definitely do. Like her uncle and her aunt. Like I love that story.
I love them so much.
Yeah, that was I love that part. The other thing too that you're exploring too is like class in like a caste system, essentially, not just within the humans, but within
Right.
the Fae,
Yep.
right? We
Yeah.
see Asher comes, and I'm not gonna spoil that for anybody, but you'll get
Yeah,
to that when
Asher's he, when you meet him, you see he has the antlers.
hmm
So he's like the predators, kind of in the Fae world, the dark Fae, they have
hmm
animalistic characteristics. So some of them have wings,
hmm
things like that. So they're the higher caste, higher class.
hmm
Um, and then they're all in clans, and then like when you meet Fendril, and he's
hmm
not in a clan because he's a light fae anyway, but he's
yes,
mixed. He's
right.
light fae and dark fae, and
hmm
so he doesn't have a clan. So they call him like a clanless one.
Yes.
And it's like it's an insult and things like that. So I wanted to kind of show that even though they're the oppressor,
hmm
there's still there's still oppression going on within that society. Like they're not just it's kind of like if you watch, like, I don't know, I haven't read the Lord of the Rings books, I've only read The Hobbit, but when you watch the
I
movies and
haven't
like
read
the
those
orcs are
either.
just like they're just like evil, all of them are evil, but
Yeah.
it's like in reality that's not how it is. Like
hmm
there's different types of evil, and there's different types of oppression and being oppressed and things like that. And it's just, you could be multifaceted.
Yes, yes,
um
and I like that you brought that in and had us explore cast in a different way. That may actually be hard to do it in the way that we view cast in the
mhm,
real quote unquote real world, right?
yeah.
So I definitely wanted to touch on that. The other part too is that how did you navigate writing romance as like a subplot within a larger narrative about duty, identity, and survival? Because obviously this is high fantasy, but it is romance. And so why was it important like to put all those things together? Because that part is exciting to
I
watch.
will say
The
I've
romance.
never written anything that didn't include romance
Mhm.
ever in my life.
Okay.
Like, even when I was in middle school, like, and I was writing short stories. I love romance. Romance is it's my equal love to fantasy.
Mhm.
I remember reading high fantasy when I was younger,
Mhm.
and they were mostly all written by white men who look down on romance and think that
Mhm.
it's beneath them and
Right.
everything. And so I would read these books because they were all that I had available to me. And I would be shipping like two characters who were on the page for like 5 minutes. I would ship them the entire rest of the 8 book series because at one point they had the tiniest bit of banter.
Yeah.
And like that was enough for me. Like I was like, I love them. I'm obsessed with them. You know what I mean? Because I had to find it where I could, even if
Mhm.
my imagination was completely doing all of the work.
Listen,
Um,
amen.
and so for me to write these stories that I've always wanted, which is, you know, these serious fantasy books with real world allegories, you know, with, you know, the allegory of Black Lives Matter and,
Mhm.
you know, the Black diaspora, where the humans don't know where they're from. They don't know how they
Yeah.
got there. Their history was completely stolen from me, or
Mhm.
stolen from them,
And
and
they have to
stolen
copy books.
from
They
slip.
even pass the word along, right?
Yes, yes. And so I wanted to write these stories that need to be told, and people crave to read them. But I also wanted them to have a Black woman who is absolutely worshipped and loved.
Mhm.
And I wanted it to be spicy, which I'm sorry, it's an extremely slow burn. I do like to warn people. I make you work for it.
Yeah,
But
I was like, sit here. If they don't kiss, I was like,
I
they
know.
kiss already. Oh.
I'm like, look, they are stressed, okay? They have a lot going on. And
Listen, when
that
they
is,
were in that little garden, I was like, get it.
yeah, I know. And that's the hard thing about writing this is, and like people do not give romantasy authors enough credit, truly, because like we are not only balancing entire character arcs, saving the world,
Mhm.
and literally possibly being murdered on page all the time, but they also have to fall in love and be able to trust and be vulnerable
Yes,
in
that's
this
true.
situation. Like, it is not, it is like, it is very hard. It's so difficult to do. But it's also
But
so rewarding when you get
mhm.
it done. So
I love that. So speaking of the world building, you did it in two books. And Lore of the Wilds, you're in really like where Laura's from. And then you go to the castle and then you go to the house and you're really there, right? But
right.
then you get into Lore of the Tides. And that is like we here. We finding about all these different kingdoms. Didn't even know they existed. There's a queen here. And I'm like, wait, where's she? Oh my gosh, there's
Yes.
more to these people
Yeah.
than I knew.
Lord of the Wilds has a little bit of adventuring. But Tides is like is high seas.
Yes, yes,
Um,
because I was
so
scared for my girl. Okay, she was locked up in there. She didn't know where
yeah.
she was going. It was, I was worried for her. So, how did you structure or think about the magical system and world itself to support Laura's arc throughout both novels and just keeping in mind what evolved from book one to two? Because that's tough. I don't know how you fantasy writers do it.
Yeah,
It
so
is
I
tough.
wish I had some like amazing answer for you. I will say I'm what writers, there's two types of writers they say. There's writers who plot
Hmm.
and writers who write by the seat of their pants. So they're
Okay.
called pantsers. I like to say I'm a discovery writer, which means I discover the story as I go. I
Mm,
always knew the ending of
okay.
Lore of the Tides. I'd always known the end. I just never knew how I was going to get there. So I
Okay.
genuinely discovered the story as it went.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And
So
then you know
you
my first draft, I told myself the story.
mhm.
And then every draft after that was me making it seem like I knew what I was doing the whole time.
Okay. It did not read that way. So
Oh, good.
kudos.
Haha.
Kudos.
So it
Because
worked.
I was sitting over there like kind of hot. I was like, ooh, this whole I was like the man dead up. I was like, this is a lot. There's a lot going on. It was a lot in a good way. Like I was like it was painstakingly high. You knew it was. And you knew that all her family was depending on her and she
Yeah,
also did not know what was happening to her family, which I think was
right.
the scariest part, I think, to me,
The
because
not knowing.
yeah, she had no idea, like two men that one betrayed, one love, and like it you felt it all.
Yeah,
So
tides, like, I definitely raised the stakes in tides,
yes, you
a lot.
did.
A lot
You
of
did.
people, 'cause well, this is the funny thing is that when I wrote Lore of the Wilds, I was marketing it as a dark cottagecore fantasy, and then people came to me and was like, "Oh, this is a romantasy," and I was like, "Cool." And then people started saying, "Oh, this is a cozy romantasy," and I was like, "Is it?" Because
Because
some people
people
see like
dying.
the acid at the end and the high stakes and all the things, but when people say it's cozy, I'm like, look, it's once you write the book, you're not allowed to. It doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to the
Yeah, it
reader.
belongs to the world.
Yeah. So then I started having to tell everyone, like, look, I'm so sorry, but okay, you call book 1 cozy, but book 2 is not cozy. It's
Mhm.
whatever the opposite of that is. It's stress. It's
Yeah, I
stress.
was stressed the whole
Mhm.
time. I was
Yeah.
stressed. I was stressed, so thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Like, it's in my
I've had
goals.
people, especially towards the end, because there's like a whole thing at the end,
Yes, and I don't
and
wanna ruin it for people.
yeah, I've had people message me who have been like, "I can't believe you did this," and I'm like,
Yeah. I
"What?"
was also like, she could just have both. So but I'm problematic like that, so
I know. You know
yeah,
what though? If like, and this is gonna sound insane because are are you a writer? Do you write?
sometimes.
Okay, so if you're a writer and somebody tells you like, I cannot get these characters to do what I want them to, like I am always trying to rein them in. They have a life of their own.
They definitely do.
If you're just a reader and you're not a writer, you would be like, these people sound absolutely bonkers. But it's really true. So like
No,
in
it's
my
true.
heart of hearts, I wanted a certain thing to happen too, but it wasn't true to my characters and I couldn't
Yeah,
make
it wasn't if you would have done it that way, it wouldn't have rang true because I knew she's just a one woman type of girly pop and she likes the grump. So it's fine. It's fine.
it.
Uh, it's just who she is. Okay. It's who she is. So you're writing within the romantasy genre, which we talked about, which is experiencing growth and evolution in some
Yes.
parts. How do you see romantasy serving stories that need both intimate, emotional depth, and epic stakes?
I think that the more people who are getting the book deals
Hmm.
and who are investing in themselves, especially with the indie authors coming out now,
Yeah.
I think that it's only going to get better from here. The stories are only going to get they're only going to get better.
Yeah.
Truly. The more, especially because more and more we're getting stories told by black and brown authors who were never able to tell these stories.
Hmm.
And especially with indie publishing,
Yeah.
they're able to people are now able to do it on their own. They're
Hmm.
like, "Oh, publishers don't want to invest in me, I'll invest in myself. I'll invest in my stories." And I think that that's so beautiful. I think that we're in for so many more treats. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm excited too. So let's talk about your book covers because both are equally gorgeous. Laura the Tides, though, my God, that is such a beautiful cover. And we're thinking about Black romantasy, representation in romantasy and fantasy more broadly still remains limited. And we just talked about that. I know why it was essential to center around a Black woman. But can you talk about the cover art? Why it was so important for you for the
Yes, I
covers
can. So this is
to
one of my
showcase because it's not just a Black woman we're seeing two Black men as well, and I
yeah,
think you don't even see that a lot on the covers, besides like
right.
probably
So
Ladarian I've seen with the
right.
Black boy in fantasy on a cover. So
Mhm.
can you talk about that and the journey of that?
Yeah, and Ladarian and Sohit, and then we've got Legendborn too, but those are both
Yeah, women.
urban fantasy. You know, they're
Oh,
both
don't you worry,
water.
I am a Bree Hiver.
Right, same, obsessed. And
Bree.
their covers are so phenomenal. So this is the thing is that I actually was originally going to indie publish Lore of the
Hmm.
Wilds. So I picked my cover. I found my cover designer on Instagram.
Hmm.
I literally sent him a DM. He was an artist. I liked this post he did and
Hmm.
I was like, "Hey, have you ever done a book cover before and are you interested in doing one?" He was like, "No, I've never done one, but I would love to." So, I was like, "Cool, let's figure this out together then." So, his name's Jordan Ashby and I hired him and I think that the most amazing thing about my cover is that he was like, "Can I read your book?" And I was like, "It's currently being copy edited right now, so if you don't mind a million commas, then yes." And he didn't mind. He read my book. I think that's one of the reasons why it's so amazing. especially because like it was his idea to do the moon here, and things like
Oh,
that.
wow.
I just knew I wanted them three on the cover, and I wanted
Mhm.
more.
Okay.
But for me, it was really, really important that I had beautiful melanated Fae, and
Mhm.
I had Laura, the main character, on the cover. I wanted people to, obviously I was indie publishing, so did I ever think it would be on a shelf? No, but I wanted people to walk by if they ever had the chance to see it, and maybe stop in their tracks and say, "Oh my gosh, they look like me."
Mm.
So I made the cover. But the only downside is a lot of people do think it's YA. It is not YA. It is adult,
Yes.
but because of, like you said, because it's similar to maybe Legendborn or
Mhm.
Ladarian's book, which those are both YA.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I was not a professional, so I didn't realize. But I got picked up before I could publish it.
So
But like,
let's talk about that. How did that come to be? Like you were like, I'm about to indie publish this. I'm being published regardless. But
yeah,
then
so
somebody was like, no, we'll
right,
publish you.
right. So basically, what happened was I I actually queried this for a year and a half. I really did
Mhm.
want it traditionally published. I was really outspoken on my platform. I was a bookstagrammer at the time, really
Mhm.
into bookstagram, the bookish space. I was just, I like to tell people I'm just a fangirl masquerading as an author. Um, and I was always posting about my querying journey. I was like, oh, I queried an agent today. Oh, I got another rejection.
Mhm.
And people started messaging me and being like, look, we just want your book. We're ready for your book. We want your book. We're ready.
Right.
I finally was like, you know what? Fine. I withdrew all of my queries, even though I had at the time out I had a couple of full manuscript requests and a couple of partials, but it could have been another 6 months before I heard back from them. So I withdrew all my queries, and like I said, I found my cover artist, I found a editor
Mhm.
and a proofreader,
Mhm.
and I messaged some of my friends on Bookstagram and was like, "Hey, if I send you a box with my book in it and a couple of goodies, commissioned a candle, things like that, will you help me reveal my cover?"
Mhm.
And they, of course, all said yes. And
Hey,
but it was
we do
insane though,
anything in our
because
community we don't support.
I went to the post office and with the bill for all the boxes though, like I will never get over that feeling of seeing how much it was to actually ship them. I was like,
Yeah,
regret.
the weight, that weight.
Yeah, but I made it work. I know, I was like, why did I get a candle? I made it work, but especially because I couldn't do media mail anymore. Anyway, it was a whole
Yeah.
thing. It was actually a whole little crisis that I had, but it's fine. So I shipped him out. My cover reveal ended up going viral.
Mhm.
It's still to this day my highest viewed video on TikTok and Instagram. So my
Wow.
cover reveal went viral, and I had an agent reach out to me, who was like, "Hey, I saw your cover reveal for your book. I saw it's not out yet. Are you interested in representation?" And I was like, wow, this is the cruelest scam email ever, because everybody knows that agents don't reach out to you. And if they
Yeah.
do, it's a scam. But I decided to just kind of, check out the website and see. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, she reps Allie Hazelwood. Like, this is
Right. And
a real
you're like,
agent.
wait, she's not a scam.
I'm like,
This
this
is
is a real
real.
agent. This is a real person. So I sent her my manuscript, and she read it overnight and offered to represent me the next day. And 2 weeks later, I think my book went to auction, and it got picked up by. We ended up choosing Harper Voyager,
Yes.
who is my dream publisher,
Yes.
and then we of course had to push the release date back by like half a year, but it was all worth it. So
I love that story. I really do. That makes like my cheeks hurt. I'm smiling so hard.
it was the
Um,
most. It was the most insane thing. Like I sometimes still think like, is this real? Did this really happen? Like, and if this is a dream, like, do not wake me
no, it definitely happened. And you didn't just do that, you did it. And so one thing I do love about hearing this story and the next question I'm about to ask is recognizing your power. The concept of Laura recognizing her own magic can be read as metaphorical of a Black woman discovering her own power and agency, which I think that's probably why I resonated so much with the story. Was this intentional, and how do you think your own lived experience informs the themes you explore throughout it? it was just nice to see Lord. That's how I read it. So I would
Yes,
love to hear
I mean,
your
100,
answer.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I'm, I'm always just writing like Black Girl Magic. That's what I write.
Yes, literally.
So yeah,
Literally.
exactly.
So what do you hope readers, especially other Black women, take away from Laura's story?
My main hope is that they see themselves in
Hmm.
in the fantasy world. They see themselves worshipped and loved and cherished. I mean, you have to work a little bit to get there, but I promise it's a happy ever after.
It
And
is a happily ever after. It really is.
and you know, I just getting even like my first message I ever received from a Black woman who messaged me out of the blue on Instagram and was like, I just read your book and I just want to say thank you because I've never ever seen myself in a fantasy book. I've never had this. And for whatever reason, you know, there's a couple out now, a few, not enough, not nearly enough. But
No.
I'm just so thankful that however they came across my book, it made them feel seen. Like that, even just one message made everything worth it. And
Mm,
anytime I get that, or if someone comes up to me at a convention and tells me and lets me know, and they tell me, oh, and then I gave it to my mom and I gave it to my sister, and because I wanted them to feel this
yeah.
too, and it's just like the best feeling. It literally it brings me so much joy, like I cannot tell you, and that's why I do it, 110%. Like that's it.
I love that. So I already know what's next because I did see the promo for Era of Prophecy. So can you tell us a little bit about the next
Yes.
one?
Okay.
Do
So
I?
I'm so excited for
Because
Air
I've been
Prophecy.
stalking.
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
not above telling you I stalked it.
I
Yep.
love that. And for anyone listening now, if you go to my Instagram, I think the link in my bio, I do have ARC applications up right now. I don't know when they're closing them. Honestly, it's because it's all through Harper Voyager, but they're up now.
Mhm. Yes.
So if you're interested in applying for an advanced reader's copy, but I will say I'm so excited for the story. So this is set in a school,
Hmm.
an academy of war and arcane arts, and it has necromancy and a hot undead, not undead, a hot demon prince. He's alive.
Hmm.
And I promise. I don't know why I said that. There's lots of undead in the book though. But it's about a woman who finds out that she is the chosen one to not one but two conflicting prophecies. And it's another duology.
Yes.
And it is, I will say, it is epic
Hmm.
fantasy. It spans three realms. It's very massive. Um, and it's taken everything in me to write this book. It is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I genuinely was like, oh, this is why people don't write high fantasy in a school setting because it is almost impossible to do. Like, I will say they have indoor plumbing because there's magic, okay? But
Yeah.
I just could not have them like what they had to have indoor plumbing. This is a
Yeah. Because that's
university,
like,
okay?
no.
Yeah, it's like it was a whole thing. It was a lot, and I genuinely waffled actually for a while on that one. But I'm just so excited about it. I'm very nervous mainly because this feels like my sophomore novel. Like I
Hmm.
know that technically Lore of the Tides was the second book that I published, but it's the same series as Wilds. And so this feels like my sophomore novel. It's a new
Hmm.
world, new characters, new magic system. Um just a completely new book, and so I'm so nervous. I just want everyone, I hope everybody loves it.
Don't be nervous. We're gonna love it. We're gonna love it. We'll be here supporting all the way. All the way.
Ah, thank you. That actually
Yes.
makes me feel really good.
So before I let you go, would you mind reading an excerpt from either Lord of the Wilds or Lord of the Tides? Either one.
Ooh, maybe I'll do Wild so that
Okay.
if people haven't, because I think anything at all that I read from Tides would be a spoiler. Because I
Yeah.
try to tell people, like, don't look anything up for Tides. Like, don't even read the synopsis for it. Like
Yeah, it will
just
actually, because then you know what happened at the end.
you do. I know. And it's like, no, no, no. Read Wilds first.
Yes.
Go into it blind if you want to,
Yeah.
but definitely don't read anything about tides.
Hmm.
Um okay, so let's see, what do I want to read? Maybe I really should have tabbed this. Let's see. Oh man. Oh, I haven't looked through this book in a while. This is actually really fun. Even though I've read it a million times. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna read the first page. Even though I just looked through the entire book.
I know you were smiling the whole way. It was very
I know, I'm like, it's
sweet.
like seeing an old friend, like, oh my
Yeah,
baby.
your baby.
Okay. Laura Alamayu collected stories like the raven that lived above the apothecary, hoarded shiny pebbles. But her favorite was the one Mama told, about a foolish god whose tricks led to the ruination of humanity. When Laura was little, Mama would use animated gestures, different voices and accents that became more outrageous with every telling. Laura would fall into giggle fits on her sleeping mat, not caring that the thin layer of hay offered little protection from the packed earthen floor. She would scold the trickster god along with her mother. They would shout through the open window, ensuring their words were directed toward the heavens. You made a mistake, Yissa god, they would shout. Take us back to where we belong. Only much later did she realize that Mama's version of the story acted as a balm to soothe the uncertainty and fear that coated the town of Duskmere like a dense, heavy fog. Nobody was immune to it, not even the children.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Woof. Yes. So if you guys haven't picked up Lore or the Wilds or the Tides, go ahead and pick it up because y'all should. Make sure you support indie if you can. Before we jump and hop, where can the people find you?
Oh, you can find me at Annalise Sabrana on Instagram, Threads if you want to see my unhinged inner thoughts, TikTok, and my website, annalisesabrana.com. And please be sure to pre-order Air of Prophecy.
Yes. Emily, I want to thank you because you didn't have to take this time to spend with me, but I really appreciate it. I love being in conversation with wonderful authors, especially ones who are breaking down barriers, and you are. Because of you, there's more romantasy out there, Black romantasy, and I appreciate that so much as a
Thank you for having
lover
me.
girl and a fighter. So I really thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course. And with that, y'all, that's another episode of ... But Make It Books. Keep healing.